The World Economic Forum just held one of the largest annual meetings to date because this confirmed exactly what we have been talking about for years. A new system is here. It's no longer about speculation. It's no longer questioning of, oh, I wonder if that's going to be a thing or not. No, it's happening. This is truly becoming a real thing, and almost everyone needs to pay attention. In the crypto space, it's very easy to get, completely locked in on something being bullish or bearish. I do think that tokenization will be very bullish for the price of our underlying assets that we have invested into. But I also think that this comes with major concerns. I made a video recently talking about how great tokenization is for crypto, but how it also comes with major concerns. In this video, I want to go over those major concerns, especially when we think about Larry Fink, aka BlackRock's CEO, because he made it known exactly what they are planning. So with that in mind, let's talk about what happened at this recent Davos event. At this recent Davos event, there's a lot of huge discussions happening. One of the most common ones, though, were based around tokenization. Tokenization was a crucial piece of the puzzle. Now, Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, he said, and he told everyone at the World Economic Forum, the world must move faster towards digitized currencies under a single unified blockchain to reduce corruption. He outlines a vision where every asset is placed on one system, including stocks, bonds, real estate, money market funds, and cash. In that system, ownership would be tokenized, fractionalized, programmable, and instantly transferable on one all-encompassing blockchain ledger. Listen closely to this video clip.
I think the movement towards tokenization, decimalization is necessary. It's ironic that we see two emerging countries leading the world in decimalization, in the tokenization and digitization of their currency. That's Brazil and India. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization by reducing more fees if we had all investments on a tokenized platform that you could move from a tokenized money market fund to equities and bonds and back and forth. We have one common blockchain. We will, we can reduce corruption. So I would argue that yes, we have more dependencies on maybe one blockchain, which we could all talk about. But that being said, the activities are probably processed and more secure than ever. I think the movement towards
Now, when you have someone like Larry Fink talking this bullish about something, you need to look under the hood. Because again, we are being sold on something. What is that something? Well, it's not just the tokenization of every asset. It's not just moving everything on chain. It's what comes with that. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. But I want to go over here to December 1st. That's when BlackRock's Larry Fink and Rob Goldstein said that tokenization is the biggest upgrade to global markets in decades. Faster settlement, fewer intermediaries, and trillions in private assets moving on chain. Paper markets are outdated. Tokenized markets are inevitable. And yes, I do believe that they are inevitable. I think that our plumbing is changing. I think that our entire financial system is changing. However, when you start to hear things like this, where it's being sold to us in the scope of, oh, it's all positive. It's going to upgrade everything. It's going to make everything more efficient. It's going to, improve everything. You need to question, why is it being sold so heavily? Because again, for years, crypto was seen as like this negative thing. Don't touch crypto. Stay away from, crypto. And now every big player is telling us about tokenization. They're telling us about crypto. They're talking about how, we were wrong about crypto. BlackRock, these big names, they have been in the crypto space for years. This is not new. The only reason why they are pushing it so heavy now is because it's ready. It's time. The green light is getting, turned on across the board. Got to think about it like this. In the US, we are so close. We are inches away from regulations. Players like JP Morgan, for an example, that have told us crypto is bad. Stay away from crypto. They have been utilizing crypto since going back to like 2015, 2016. All of these big players have been preparing for this moment, regardless of if they say, oh, hey, we were wrong. No, they were right all along. They were just telling you a completely different story. And now they are fully embracing it. And again, Larry Fink has been very bullish on both tokenization and AI. They are the two megatrends that will reshape financial services. He said this back in December after they released that document.
But now let's go into the future. What are some of the mega trends that are going to reshape investing, asset management as you look forward?
I mean, there's two, but they're all interconnected, and that's going to be AI and tokenization of financial assets. So digital assets, those are the two mega trends that are going to totally reshape financial services. I had a lunch today with a very prominent former finance minister, central bank, very prominent guy. And he wrote a big paper on tokenization.
Right.
And he would say, he couldn't say it in his former role, but he would say it today as a private citizen. The banking system is being left behind in so many ways through technology.
But now let's...
And again, this all leads us back to the World Economic Forum. Are we forgetting who Larry Fink is? Are we forgetting who the World Economic Forum is? Are we forgetting the you will own nothing and be happy narrative? A lot of people totally get lost in the idea of something pumping their bags. Tokenization has been seen as that thing that will pump their bags. And although, yes, I do think that it will be, a huge narrative for crypto. I think that's going to be huge for the entire crypto space. It does come with major concerns. We know that Larry Fink has become the co-chairman of the World Economic Forum. This recently got announced in like the last 2 years. The same World Economic Forum that had this on their website. This is a part of the fourth industrial revolution. Big shout out to DNA Protocol for this. We have this is how the future is structured. The World Economic Forum places blockchain at the center of digital identity, payments, governance, tokenized assets, and automation. This is the full view of the blockchain space. A key part of this is digital ID. This is the concerning part because we go back to this video clip of Larry Fink. Larry Fink just said the quiet part out loud. Every asset, every currency, every transaction tokenized, tracked, and routed through digital wallets you don't control. They are not hiding it anymore. This isn't innovation, it's permission-based existence. Now, listen, I do think that there's definitely innovation tied back to it. However, this is giving the elites far more control and oversight into your finances and everything. And they 100% want digital ID tied back to it. We know that they do because the World Economic Forum literally tells us that the digital ID part of this is embedded into the blockchain sector. Listen closely to what Larry Fink told you as well.
I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that. Not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
And although, yes, this will change everything around finance, the main thing that we are looking at is that you will have all of this tied back to a digital ID. Digital ID is at the center of it all. And you know what's even crazier about this is that in the US, we have an attack on crypto currently happening with this new market structure legislation. We have over here from Warren Davidson. He warns that the stablecoin focused Genius Act, which already passed, risks turning the US into a surveillance state. He argues that it enables wholesale CBDCs and digital ID systems that strip Americans of financial freedom and privacy. Guess what? We're not avoiding it because tokenization is happening right now, and every big player, the DTCC, SWIFT, major banks, all of them are on board. So regardless of if you think that we can get around this or not, it's already in place. And basically what Warren is saying here is that in the 2025 Genius Act, if this becomes law, providing a federal framework for stablecoins, this is an account-based approach favored by banks that prevents non-banks from paying interest, fails to protect self-custody, and by design enables a wholesale CBDC. Because again, this industry, if this industry becomes an account-based industry, it offers no distinct advantage over the status quo. And that's exactly what the banks want. They don't want competition. That's why these bills that we're now starting to see, like for an example, the most recent one, the market structure legislation, I made this post back on December 15th or on January 15th. I said that it's all about control. I remember writing this post back in 2023 when regulators were trying to kill staking, which is a critical part of the DeFi sector. What I said is even more important today than in 2023 because we are still seeing banks attempt to kill a major opportunity that crypto enables for retail, i.e. stablecoin yield. Now, it's not just about stablecoin yield. It's also about DeFi because in the same bill, right, they're trying to kill competition with stablecoin yield operators in the space, aka like most centralized exchanges. But the main thing that we're also seeing in this bill is attacks on DeFi as a whole. Now, the main reason why they want to kill DeFi, the main reason why they want to target DeFi is because it's all about control. DeFi offers higher yield than any even centralized player in crypto, let alone banks that barely offer 1% on your money. They offer 0.33%. When we take that into account, right, with all of the, major DeFi yield generating platforms in this space, banks are not touching even close to that yield. Banks want to kill every part of crypto that makes crypto. Just like Warren Davidson is saying, like this, they wanted to become essentially the digital status quo, where banks survive, they become the driver, and we essentially give up all control. And this all goes back to what the World Economic Forum wants to push. The fourth industrial revolution, where blockchain is at the core, but you also have digital identity. And even when you have names like Larry Fink saying, oh, hey, in order to have that tokenization and digitization of everything, you also need a digital ID in place to track and trace everything. These things are highly concerning, especially when it's coming from players like Larry Fink. I know that it's always been concerning. I know that we've always, put a spotlight on this. But now that we're this close, now that things are actually moving into place, we need to be extremely, cautious here. We need to be on high alert, and we need to make sure that we are not giving up complete control. That's why I've also said that this bill, this market structure bill, it's very concerning that we have, crypto CEOs and crypto influencers pushing this bill as something positive when it really isn't that positive at all. In fact, it kills a large piece of the DeFi sector. It kills a lot of the main things around DeFi as well. Like it wants to provide, DEX operators. It wants to give DEX operators, a major obstacle to operate that they just simply cannot adhere to. The regulations, the KYC, the AML restrictions on those DEX platforms. I mean, these DEX platforms cannot adhere to those rules. So they're trying to kill large pieces of the space. They want to try to take control of the space, and it's all through regulations. It's all through the same regulators that for years kept the banks in the power position that they are in currently. And this is all to force us into this tokenized digital system where, you have a digital ID and they can essentially control everything, around your digital ID. I know it sounds crazy, but this is something that we have been concerned about for well over now 6, 7, or 8 years. So again, this is something that's very concerning. We need to pay attention to this. It's very important, especially at a time where we just had one of the largest Davos events, all centered around tokenization. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this